Hi, Warriors. Big week. We have the Fed on Wednesday. Just want to remind everyone it's a binary bet. I think BOE as well this week. Plus, we get the details of the Treasury package for refunding. Those all are going to be market movers. I wanted to talk about something I've been really brought up for a while, but because I see something really interesting developing on a longer term basis, and that's on the long side of the US dollar Mexican peso. We're looking at the 4 hour chart now, and it looks like an ascending triangle with a breakout over 1740. And I would use any weakness as looking for a way to get positioned here on the long side. I don't know if it's going to have anything to do with, say, for example, what's happening at the border. That if the border does close, that it puts more of a economic stress on Mexico. But when you look at the weekly, the peso has had a very good run. So this means that the peso, while it was heading lower after this breakdown, was appreciating against the dollar. And if you notice here, we have a higher low than the one that we put in September and August, and we're starting to turn up. Also at that important 1740 level, you have the 50-week moving average. So even if you just had a correction back towards a breakdown towards 19 to 1950, that would be a big trade. And I don't think there's a lot of people that really all you hear are good things about Mexico, about the fact that, a lot of plants are being built there as we're reshoring our production, not only here in the US, but Mexico benefiting from that. So a lot of people bullish Mexico. Prices have been going up there, property prices. Mexico is no longer a secret, and it's no longer cheap. So I just wanted to draw your attention to this, that looks like we're turning up for at least a C wave, and there's a lot of potential. I would assume this would be with a stronger dollar, but the peso at times really just trades on its own. It also would go up if there was risk off in the market, and I want to talk quickly about that. So if you saw the interview I did with Bill Henner on last Wednesday, and he's been around for a while, another veteran, former floor trader at the CME. I got a message from him over the weekend that said, Dale, I've had a flashback that back in 2000, the earnings downgrade, which we got in Intel on Friday, was the precursor or the beginning of a bear market in NASDAQ. We all know what happened when the dot-com bubble popped, but he had a memory, and you have to have history in the market to remember things from 23 years ago. That downgrade in Intel led the decline in NASDAQ and the dot-com stocks. So, maybe this time it's AI stocks. We'll see. I mean, they're the ones with the most air in them. But just something to consider, that we may be looking at a canary in the coal mine. I also found the chart of McDonald's interesting. Classic divergences here on a three drive to a top. This happened when they raised prices. So, it's not cheap to go to McDonald's either. And the market obviously didn't like it. McDonald's had made, this is, I believe, a new all-time high. And, it's a pretty conservative stock. Also, now that I go the weekly, look at the divergence there. This could be a good short. All right, so let's get to the currencies. Euro's down today. I'm looking for 107. Pound is still holding up much better, and Aussie's holding up even better than that. So how do you trade the Fed? Um, I think that there's a possibility that the dollar index might have a pullback. So let's say, and I don't believe they're going to do anything about rates, but maybe the pressure is a little bit more benign. So here we are in the middle. I want to be a seller up near 105. And if we should get a pullback into early February down towards 102.5 or 102 even, I want to be a buyer of the dollar because I think yields are going to start heading higher once we get this package out there. So you're in the middle, which means you don't have to do anything. I'm playing for a reaction down there, 102.5. We'll see. Maybe that happens. Uh, we're right against some important resistance. Down here, you're a buyer, and up towards 105, you're a seller in the dollar. So that would be like 107, you're a seller in the euro. What bothers me about chasing the short side of the euro right now is, how it looks on some shorter term charts, that even though we're making a new low here right now, we're still diverging. This has a little bit of a look of a three drive, and that we could get a recovery in the euro back towards 109. That would be analogous to about 102 in the Dixie. I also wanted to cover what's happening here in the gold and silver. Looks like, I missed another bottom, but I don't think so. Gold came in, that the war is escalating. Every day it's a new country. Now it's Jordan, where U.S. troops were hit by a drone. So Iran's denying that it was them. But anyway, the fact that we're talking about, initially Israel and Hamas, and then we start talking about Syria and Iraq, and now Jordan, shows that this thing is escalating. So I think that eventually this thing is not going to be tapped down, but will continue to escalate into the summer. So we've had a nice little rally in WTI. I think it's very possible. So we're getting an opening here in the stock market. Let's see how the metals open. Also, last week I said buy VIX. We're gapping up today. So the real important level for VIX coming up this week, if something negative happens, would be this 14.5 level. See, we're already cutting through some moving averages on intraday time frames, but this is really the big level right here at 15. Over 15 is going to, open the door for, at least 18. And if things really get going, if you want a real bullish count for VIX, you could say this was A, which was 10.5 points. And even though we took out this low, that this could be an irregular B. And if you get 1.618 of this, it's going to take you to 28. So keep in mind, you don't have to do anything until after the presser in currencies or anywhere else, that the markets will be here. If you are trading, I'd be a scalper and be out before the Fed and then react to the Fed, because it's a red number. It's binary. It's not trading. It's just a flip of the coin, which way they're going to go. And you're prepared no matter which way the market goes. You know where to sell the dollar up here, and you know where to buy the dollar down here. Okay. And I still say be patient in the gold. Let's see how the shares are doing since we have a US opening here. Okay, so even with gold up strongly, here's Newmont unchanged, down 1. Here's GDX down 6. All of them are lower, even though the metals are higher. So again, be patient. I think the low in the miners, we're only a few days away from a new month starting. It's in Feb or March, and they're going to be important, pivotal lows that I think can support prices advancing for at least a year or so. And you rarely hear me talk about a time frame like a year. So good hunting. I have a great guest on Wednesday. Tom is going to be with us. Tom Luongo has a big following, and we could talk geo with Tom, and we're going to talk markets with Tom. Oh yeah, before I forget, I know there are a lot of people that, are Bitcoin traders. So this is the way I see it. We had the peak here on the ETF and a $10,000 drop, and we got all the way up to 42. We could go a little higher, but I'd be looking for one more of these. And so if it happens from here, I think we're going to see 32,000. And then the compelling look on the weekly is the convergence of the 50-week and 200-week moving averages just above 30 grand. I think that's going to be a magnet. So I'll see everyone in the room. Good hunting. Remember that it's wise not to have big positions into the Fed. I think the Fed could stand pat here, but you never know what's going to happen in the presser. And, live to prudence over valor. You don't have to be a hero. And I guarantee you the markets will be here after the Fed. Make sure your capital is as well. And don't just count your pips, count your blessings, everyone. I hope I'm giving you a little bit of an edge and you're learning some things from these broadcasts, and I'll see everyone.